is Divine Sunshine coming to you with a collective message. I wanted to come on here because Spirit has been pretty much working with me, and I think that it's doing the same with many of you all as well. One thing that I've kind of pretty much noticed with kind of because it's like hold on one second. I'm trying to get this in a different view that is not really straight there on my eyes. Okay, there we go. Um, One thing that I'm noticing, and it's kind of going collectively, even in my soul family or tribe or circle, that I'm noticing that even with these energies that are coming in, and we have the retrograde that's happening as well, it's becoming an emotional overload of emotions, a flood. Hey, Kia. I'm on my laptop. One reason why I'm on my laptop and showing a different view is because I got my sorority hoodie on, and I don't want that to be on view because I don't want to say in that on that part. So you'll see this way I'm viewing a different way because I'm on my laptop. Hey, Kia. And so I think we need to have really a power hour because I thought about which is one of my DM's favorite artists, rap artists, which is Tupac, which is really stating that we need to keep our head up, especially with what's going on. We're getting a real powerful push for us to really unearth all of these emotions and things of nature. And it's kind of getting to the point that we're really starting to even question ourselves. We're even questioning the energies that surrounding us, is even questioning ourselves about some things that we're seeing that even our counterparts, if we're in communications with them, is making us saying, can we make it? Are you going to be able to do this? Because what I'm seeing you doing is kind of almost like slip sliding back into your old ways, your old patterning. And it's making you stay there to really look at yourself and say, honestly, to look at and see what is it that I still have to work on. I had to catch myself even with the DM and what he had did, to say, what is that mirroring back to me? Okay, he triggered me when he did X, Y, and Z. So now what? Now what is it that I have to do? I got to find a way, is in the midst of the song lyrics say, still find a way to keep my head up, even though, regardless, to keep on pushing on, because right now what it is really truly understanding that we need to have union with self. And this is where we are, is really finding our happy place. This is what I'm hearing them saying, or our happy space to be in. But at the same time, I was watching Paranormal Priestess, and she was saying at the same time, we've got to give ourselves okay and permission to not be okay. Okay and permission about those ugly parts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Those things, because those all in totality make up us. And we've gotten to the point that we want the perfection. We keep on striving for perfection. And in doing that, we are rejecting a part of ourselves. And in doing that, when we do get into union with whoever the person that you may want, but I'm going to stay for this channel, it is with your divine counterpart, that we've got to learn. That's what unconditional love is where we have to truly love every part of that person, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But a lot of times that has to start off with us. Do we give permission to ourselves to love all these other facets of ugliness that comes up that we have to deal with? And this is where we are, especially with this retrograde. Right now, with this retrograde, we're not, what I can hear April say in some ways, but there's going to be movement. Let's say this, like water. And even when you're doing things in water, it doesn't go as fast. It's still movement. You still can have forward movement. But at the same time, there's an issue as far as speed, or like I was doing with the kids today, velocity. Hey, Kathy D. So, in having that velocity and that movement through water, there is an issue as far as how fast we're going. But guess what? We're still moving. When we're talking about going with the flow of things, we're still moving. Going with the flow doesn't mean we're staying stagnated. And I think we feel as if that's where we are. And these illusions and things that are actually coming up are things for us to really take a standstill and a pause, to say a pause for the cause, as I'm hearing them say, to really see and take introspection as to what's going on. We have to understand that when we have those moments, and I think maybe I might be in my DM moment, because right now he might be in the divine feminine. I'm like, I feel like I want to, or the divine feminine, if I see about what I see, what Kirk's saying about that, kind of pulling back a little bit. Let me go back and, as they did with the game on the sidelines, and say, let me look at that play again. What did I do in the moment when I was with the DM that made me feel like I got triggered? What was it actually saying? What was it deeper? Because I would hope that at least on this journey that I've gotten to the point that I can take introspection to see that it's like me. And like I said this morning, it's me, oh Lord, standing in near prayer, that I am the one that has to do the work, because I can't change the DM. The DM is going to be the DM. He's going to do those things. But what I can do in the 3D sense, in the 5D sense, we always talk about you do the work, it changes on that side. Okay, that's great. Right now, I'm in my humanness. Okay, and that's where all of us are in our 3D. So let's just talk real talk. So, who again in the 3D physical world, who can you change? You can't change them right now. They're working with their karma. They're working with their whatever they are, the karmic thing, person, place, a thing. But who can you change right now? You. You are the one that can be changed right now. So it's time for, when we have those moments of breaking communication, or I'm pissed off at him, which I can say I'm not in that. I had that moment yesterday. I told myself, get out of that. That's enough. He doing the same. He's doing what he's doing. He's being the DM. I almost said his real name, and that's it. For him to, again, now it's a reflection. Let's grow and let's know what's the next step that I have to do. Which is what, at that point, I was like, stop. Why is he triggering you? What is it that you got to learn at this point? Because that's where we are. I know the lady, oh my God, I wish I could find that. We had the lady who was very known here at the Chicago Teachers Union here. She just passed away just today. And it was a beautiful thing that she said while she was leading, because see, this is what we are. We in leadership of ourselves right now. And she had a beautiful, I hope I can find that. It was 3 things that she did to check in with herself to make sure that she was doing in leadership. And I said, oh, that is so good. Let me see if I can find it. Chicago. Hold on, it said it right there. Go back and put no on the framework. No, I want anything to say Chicago Teachers Union. That it was released in the letter that was what was beautiful, and they talked about what Karen taught us in the movement of her leading. Let me see, I can find it. 3 things. He said it was 3 questions that that guided her leadership. She always asks, does it unite us? Does it build our power? And does it make us stronger? That's a very good thing that when we're talking about on this twin flame journey, those are the 3 things that we need to look at. Right now, what am I doing? Is it uniting us? I almost hear somebody say, F that, what's going on with them. So we're not even on that. We're talking about union with self. This is where we are. So is right now what we're doing, is that uniting ourselves? Are we finding wholeness? Are we finding integrity, which means is what is making us whole? What is making us true? What is our truth that's helping us to stand in as far as our actions, as far as our reactions, as far as what we're doing? Then the second thing is Does it build our power? Me being pissed off with him and giving the DM the piece of my mind at that moment, did that really empower me? Yeah, okay, for a while it did. Yeah, I did tell him I was gonna run him over with a damn shopping cart. I did say that. I will admit that. And I said it playfully, but I meant every damn gone word, actually. Why you say, what did you say? I said, I'm running your ass over with the shopping cart. But anyway, I'll give you that much. That's how pissed I was. Did that empower me at that moment? Yeah, it kind of did. It did. Afterwards, then I was like, no, you know better than that. But it felt good to voice it at that moment, honestly. But and it needed to be said. That's again accepting everything. I can't go back and cower back and say, because it needed to be said at that moment. And at the same time, you said it, but now what can we learn from it? So that goes back to her next question is, again, does it make us stronger? Did it actually make me stronger? Actually, it empowered me for a while. But the thing what made me stronger is to ask myself, what did I learn from that moment? And what did I feel that maybe I needed to change? What was my introspective? Why did I get triggered in that moment? And then again, now moving forward, what did I need to do? Now, this is where we are, divine feminines, and this is where this stuff is that where we are as far as our movement as divine feminines. This is the energies that's housed within and where we are. Hey, Sherry. I have a laundry list of things to do. Yes, okay, Kathy D. And so this is where we are. We really are taking really true introspection about how can we. So I'm gonna ask the cards very quickly to see about what is it that do they suggest for us to do at this moment, because we're kind of in some of us emotional turmoil and chaos on some level, and some of us is again, we are holding on in the midst of the storm, especially with the retrograde, some not forward movement, some communication, some miscommunication that they've been saying all over the place when we're talking about the retrograde as well. And so, what is the energies that divine wants us to deal with as far as keeping our head up with everything that's going on, whether it's no communication with the divine masculine, or they're acting up, or it seems like they're going back and reverting, or it seems as if we're looking at them and we're not getting forward movement, even with ourselves and our divine masculine energies as well. We're starting projects, stuff look like it's not coming together the way that we want them to, or we're doing things and it just seems like all in the world is not coming together like that. Now, emotionally, our divine feminineness is reacting to the divine masculine energies, which is out there in the world, and our alphaness and our leadership in that point. So right now they're saying again that with us, when we're dealing with that, it's our third chakra, Archangel Shamiel. And again, that's again finding our standing in our power. What is our identity in that moment? That pissosity that I was in with the DM was to tell me, you know what, how am I standing in my authority? What am I identifying with in that moment? Or what do I need to start identifying based upon those three questions based of what Karen Lewis had said? Because once I do that, that energy moves me into the door to personal healing and happiness. That's where we are in this energy. Hey, Mimi. So this is where we are actually at, is that doorway of happiness, opening up the doorway to ourselves, to truly what it is to be divine. This is where we are. And so it's healing and happiness. This is where we're moving to at this moment. Okay. So now the things that we need to do clear with these current energies, they want us to do the following. Source, talking to source. Woohoo! Uh-oh, not you. Yeah. Oh, somebody must want me to reverse that. It's interesting facing this way. Yeah. Mercy. Now this is just what we was talking about earlier. Didn't I say about the good, the bad, and the ugly? We're at the point that we need to give mercy to ourselves, especially with these energies that's going on. Okay, by His grace and mercy. That's all to me. Mercy is again is a form of forgiveness. Looking beyond that and using unconditional love and mercy and all those things combined together. This is it in order for that. So it's interesting. I'm very much so attracted to this crown that he has here, which always to me reminds me of how pointed it is. What they say, no crown, no thorn, no crowns. Understanding that where we are, we've got to go through these steps. The triggers to me was like a thorn, just like you got a rose, it's beautiful, but you prick your little finger there and you do on the rose there, and you say, ow, there's pain with that. But at the same time, in order for you to have that beauty of that rose, the thorn and the rose, they go together. So I'm seeing him, and he's holding a book, which is to me is becoming a knowledge. It's almost like the holy grail of spirituality too. Yeah, and so with that of understanding, this is where we are, Metatron, understanding mercy. In order for us to get into that Christ-like state, there it is. There, we've got to again, and sometimes bow down to things because I've noticed his head is down like this. We might have to gain knowledge where we are in doing so as well. But at the same time, even in, it looks like to me like it's almost broken to me when I look at it. Even in those brokenness, we still have to find favor or again to bless where we are, even in that moment. And so when we're talking about the universe in this 3D in this world where we are, the universe wants us to know while we're in this moment right now that oneness is my true nature. What does oneness mean? That means coming together as one. What I said in the beginning of my little spiel or my opening, again, becoming whole, becoming one with yourself, the divine, the oneness, becoming aligned with what you want or what you want to become or what you want to be, because that is truly your true nature. Now, again, going back to High Priestess and what she was saying, that's fine for you to be all over the place, but I'm seeing them like bringing like chaos. But some kind of way you got to kind of like bring all of that stuff together. It's like I'm seeing cards, like bring it together, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. When I do my spreads, and I just kind of gather them all together into one little pile there. But even in that deck of cards there, I got all different. I got the good, the bad, and the ugly. I got some good cards, some bad cards there, but it still all makes up that deck, whether it's Hangman, or Ace of Cups, or whatever way you want to say it, Hierophant, whatever, Priestess, Emperor, whatever it is, Fool, Death card, all that stuff, Wheel of Fortune, all those things are all made up in that gathering of the different layerings that we have. Now, spirit, this one here, in our higher self, wants us to know in order for us to keep our head up, clear, during these times of Mercury retrograde, they want us to understand that to me, we're becoming, it's the ending of a cycle. This is where we're getting pushed to. We're getting pushed to an end of the cycle and we're becoming brand new. I see the number 9 there, which jumps off to me right there. Okay. Becoming brand spanking new. So our higher selves collectively wants us to know number 9. Let me read that from the book, which is, you know how it feels after a fresh rain. Everything is pure, clean, washed to its precious, beautiful core. You just want to stick your nose in the air and take a big whiff. That's your life right now. There is not one blemish, not one flaw. It's a perfect 10. And in order for you to get to a 10 there, you got a 9 here, which means, again, you got to cycle out. You got to get some things out of, saying, out of the wash. So that's the same thing with the DM energies there. Again, clearing out dirty laundry, like one of you all had said earlier. And that's what we're doing too. So if they're washing the laundry too, which is in the material things, because that's, again, this is like thinking like clothes, material. We've got to go through the rinse cycle and the wash cycle as well spiritually. Okay. So that's the same thing that we're doing as well, but in, again, mirroring in the opposite. And so sometimes those things come along in which make us do that. So how do we surrender clear during these times of what's going on with us now? It says surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. This is where you are. So, a lot of us during this time, especially with things that are going on, these karmic situations, or just life in general, what's going on, there's a lot of times that it throws us into that negative thinking. Oh, well, there he going back to his old ways again. He just told me a lie. That's why I got to run his ass over with this shopping cart. I don't know where he's coming off with. I don't know if he can do it clear. Now, again, some of it could be perspective. Again, he's coming new, and maybe, again, there's something that I've got to check at the door and kind of re-see again with myself and flush things out. That goes back to the wash, to the laundromat I go to kind of really see about washing some things, about stinking thinking that I have too about the situation. But Spirit wants us to know what things has got to change. There's us being able to keep, I don't think you can see. Can you see? Yeah. Keep the faith. Now, how we're going to be able to keep the faith here is, again, this has got a lot of purple. And a lot of purple is that crown chakra thing, opening up, getting those downloads to be able to truly see what is Source trying to align us in. I could have stayed again in my situation there in the 3D, say, yeah, after the ride home and seeing him, and kept on having that conversation and that dialogue there. And I caused myself now to stop having those dialogues with the ego, because I know the ego is doing nothing but protective. Of course, it's going to sound like that. One of your girlfriends, like, yeah, beat his ass, do this, that, that. You got that. That's what the ego is. I'm ready. You ready? Earrings all Vaseline on. Here, I'm tying it up into a ponytail. We ready to go for what we know and give him a piece of my mind and blah, blah, blah. But then at the end of the day, going back to the 3 questions, does that build up? Does that empower going that route? No, it feel good for a second, but it don't last all day. It don't last for no long period of time. So again, when you got those downloads, we got to be able to hear what Source is trying to allow, what's going beyond, it's saying beyond the veil, beyond what we're seeing there, beyond that. So some of you all are seeing Mimi say that she's getting headaches. I've gotten headaches too, as well. For me, when I get headaches, that usually is a tell that I'm getting downloads. I'm being recalibrated. I don't, like I told the other day to Source, I said, you don't have to find another way, because them suckers knocking me out. They paralyze me. I can't think. My memory, I can tell when it's coming on, when I lose words and I can't find the words to come together. And a lot of times, that's what it is. They're reprogramming my mind so that I can be able to. Kathy B knows that when I say, oh, I had a headache, so we about to get something real good. And that is true. It upgrades me, and that's the way they upgrade me. Again, that's another thing of ascension with those headaches there. So again, the downloads there. But in the middle of this is saying that we have to what? This is brown, which means we got to eliminate some things. In order for us to keep the faith, what we got to eliminate? That what? Stinking thinking? Did I put it back in there? I should have left it out. Interesting. I'm not just seeing it. These both got the same color themes. Purple and brown, which again tells me we've got to eliminate. And this is fall leaves here. I didn't even pay attention to this. So again, you got fall leaves off of a tree here. Then something's got to die away and get rid of because it's not aligning with your life. Because to me, a tree is a tree of life, and if those tree leaves are falling, then that lets me know that again, that something again is no longer supplying the nourishment to the leaves anymore. It's no longer being nourished. So there's some things you need to stop feeding. What are those things you need to stop feeding? That negative thinking, that negative nelliness that you go into, that perpetually keeps on cycling you. You know, and I could have kept on. Oh, there you go again. He had to do X, Y, and Z. The thing that he said that it pissed me off, that made me tailspin. I could have kept on being like that. But at the same time, I done got to the point that I said, I'm kind of tired of that. That don't really serve me. It all staying in that state of mind with him. And then I said, start looking at myself to see. It's still at the end of the day, I got to keep the faith. Okay. With myself, it starts off with me. Got to eliminate there. Okay. Both of them got the color brown. Brown means, anytime you see brown, means elimination. So again, it's got to be eliminated in order for you to cause this transformation, because this is a butterfly there. You got that, but notice it's got a little bit of red there. So you got to get grounded and rooted, especially when you talk about this negative thinking, because that negative thinking can blow you down, child. You be somewhere you don't ever know. And you say, how the hell I got that? And it's hard for you to come back to center again and say, okay, union with self. This is why you got to get rid of this stinking thinking. What do they want us specifically? What's the strategy or key that they say that we can use in order to help us with where we are currently? Well, you say, is this retrograde energies? One of them is again right here, which is to again, to me, when I see this, looks like sitting pretty, but it looks like you're sitting and you're grounded. This is truly like namaste, in my power. Again, the light in me meets the light in you, which is really being centered. Understanding that in one hand, that you can be able to, which is the left, she got the left. So in your divine feminine power here, you have the power in your divine feminine energies to create, to change your world, to change the energy or the synergy that's going on. In the right hand here, which would be your divine masculine energies here, you got a wand here. That means you got to take action. You're sitting pretty right there with both of them. Say, I'm sitting and I'm grounded in this energy. So that means as your divine feminine energies, you are able to create the change. And at the same time, you got to be action. That's your balance. You got to do both of them at the same time. But I'm noticing that she's paying more attention to the divine feminine energies, which is the creating the magic as well. So, but at the same time, it's action. So you know what this means to me when I look at it, she's not paying attention to that action. That means I put forth the intention in the action. I don't pay attention to it because right now I'm looking for what? The magic to reveal itself in the 3D. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the magic. Okay, I did it. That same thing like I told you all in going through the drive-through, and I said that several videos earlier, and I did a inspirational thing on that about the drive-through. When you go to McDonald's, there you put in your order. You put in your order or any kind of fast food, and you drive around and what? Expect them to have your food in the bag. You ain't going out there getting out your car and talk about, okay, I'm at the counter and I'm back there watching you cook my burger or watch you cook my because I like my filet of fish. I have to say that I'm am or guilty. That's a guilty pleasure. You can bribe me to do anything. A free reading with a hold on a second. Let me not tell y'all that with a double filet of fish meal, some fries, and a sweet tea. Baby, I am yours. It's over. So again with that. But I don't go back there and say, hey, you didn't fix that fry. Can you turn over that filet of fish, that patty? Yeah, that right there. Turn it over. Then I'm gonna watch them put the on the bun and have the tartar sauce on there and the cheese on there. And then I'm watching them do my fries and I'm watching her put the sweet tea in there. What's the point of me going through drive-through? Drive-through is for convenience and speed and fast. For me to sit there and get out my car and then watch them fix my meal. That don't make any kind of sense. So that's the same thing that they're saying, that in order for this, again, don't worry about, to me, even actions. Don't worry about the actions. Don't worry about the actions. Pay attention to the magic. Pay attention to what source is able to bring you at this time, okay? Pay attention to the changing of the atmosphere and the energy and the synergy right there. That's the main thing, not the actions. Because again, like I said, I'm very moved by me seeing how I got that up there. I ain't paying attention to this, but I'm paying attention to this. Also, this is divine timing as well. She has her surfboard, so I'm ready to surf the waves. I'm ready. But at the same time, I'm looking here and she has three wands here. So that means there's three actions. That came out. I didn't think about that. Three actions that she must take. Okay. Those three actions that she must take. You know what those actions are. So I would say to sit down and see what are the three actions that you need to take. And as far as that doing that as well, you have to wait for things to intersect. By meantime, while you're waiting for the divine time, of what you do? Put the actions in the intent and movement, and then look towards the magic to happen. Okay. Next thing, kid wants you to know there's three things. They say ask yourself what those three things are. Wait a second. Clear. I'm going to ask the three things on this card. What are the three things? Let me use this as a clarifier. What are the three things, Source 18, that she needs to do while she's waiting for divine timing, divine feminine energies? One, speak your truth. Okay, she's got shades on, which means watch the shading. Watch how you're seeing your illusions. Watch how you are able to actually see what's going on, because some of y'all are looking through muddy glasses. Ain't rose-colored glasses, but muddy. It's darkness in which you're looking at that. Also, again, she's got this third eye here, which is again opening up so you can be able, maybe you might want to do some third eye cleansing and third eye exercises or activities too, in which to open that up so you can be able to move out of illusion into intuition and awareness, because this is the waning move. And then that being able to speak your truth, then you're going to be able, there go roses. Didn't I just talk about roses? Oh my God, I could throw this down. Here's the roses here again. Roses, understand that where you are, it's going to be some roses. It's going to be roses and thorns. Learn how to balance both of those things, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. All right then. And the next thing is, okay, Mimi, I'm getting directed to you. Pay attention to the reading. Spirit just told me. Say, tell her to pay attention to reading and not into what's going on with you. Pay attention, because you're missing out on your keys. Because what I'm talking about is helping you. So next thing here. Three things: adventure and play. Because it's like it's saying, we just talked about the cycle. Say she's keeping herself in that same cycle. So again, adventure and play. Because they say what you're talking about, it's not, again, that's not going to be, they're saying it's not going to be with your actions, whatever it is, it's not going to be answered. Some other things have to go into play with that. And so again, it says adventure and play. So again, do it, set forth, do some other things that make you happy to kind of get out of that energy. Okay. So that could be able to make you, again, adventure and then play, which means, again, be willing to go into other territories that's outside of your comfort zone. Be willing to do those things and be able to play around. And if it works, if it don't work, hey, at least you tried. But this is what they're saying again here. Get out your comfort zone. Get out of your head space. Okay. Oh, they gave another one. I said 4, but they gave 3 things. Trust your intuition too, as well, on some things. Okay. Trust your intuition. And then all of these 3 things I want to say here is going to lead you to endless abundance. And that goes back to the card here, to me, where she's got here. This is abundance in the hand. Okay. Next thing is, last two. And so now, what is the message of love, Claire, that the universe wants to give? Okay, let me stop. I did snap him back down. Give me these. What is the message of love that the universe, source, your 18, your guides, or whomever that you work with, what's the message that they want to give you? Which is be in the present and dream of the future. And that goes back to, and I seen what Mimi was writing there again, these dreams here, dreams, but you need to stay in the present, in the now. That's why I was saying about make sure that you are getting what is needed to you right now at this time. So again, stay in the present. This is the now. Paranormal Priestess talked about how staying in the present is where you are most in union. And that's interesting that this came out. Because being in the present, you're not thinking about what things happened in the past. You're not thinking about what's in the future. Because see, when you think in the past, that makes you depressed. When you think about the future, it makes you anxious. But when you're present and you're taking it just one moment at a time, that is where truly the magic is. And that to me goes back to this here. This here is also in the present. Understanding, okay, when it's time, then I know it's time to ride. Okay. But she's in the meantime, she's got these flames here, and she's got the wands there of action here. And then dream of the future. Dreaming of the future is not you. When you're dreaming, you're not putting forth any type of action there. It just is. It just be. Excuse my ebonics. I know that doesn't sound right. But that's what it is dreaming. Dreaming, there's no action that you got to put forth a lot of force in the physical, in the 3D. That's all spiritual movement that you're doing there. But again, stay present, stay in the now. The next thing is receive with love and appreciation. Receiving something lovingly from others is a way of showing love. Learn how to right now, it's time to receive. But it looks like to me when I look at this is a snowflake. Snowflakes are very unique. There's not one thing that's patterned off the same. So what does that tell me? That tells me that again, when you're looking for something that's going to happen, it's not going to be something that is going to be like it's funny it says that because when I was on my laptop and it came on and the little picture screen thing, they showed the herd. And I thought about Kathy D when she's talking about the herd mentality. It's not going to be about something that's going to be with the masses of everything else as far as in the 3D and how everybody thinks. It's not going to be part of the twin flame herd or community thing is. It's going to be something that's tailor-made for you as far as expression of love. And this is where we have to understand that too as well, that we can't go by measuring ourselves by other things that's going on in the world of how everybody else, their dogma or their ideology as well, but not even in the twin flame either. It's whatever it is about that uniqueness. And so that's the uniqueness that you bring out into the world is the same way the uniqueness that you're expecting to come back to you and to receive. So you know how unique you are. So you shouldn't expect for the universe to give you something back that's going to be mediocre, as I'm hearing them say. It's going to be uniquely tailored for you, and it's going to have its own unique spin to it, just like the snowflake. Everybody's thing is different. So then the next thing is here as well is act as if your partner is here. Whether you have something in your life or not, act as if they are with you so you will always consider them. So that goes back to doing, and I heard a conversation I'm not going to share, but anyway, the thing is that person has stated that I've got to start acting as if that person is mine. That person is here. Now, that doesn't mean also just the 3D version of your DM, but that also means as if to me, it's like they're showing me a map at the mall. And you know what they're saying? Wherever you want to go, your destination, maybe you might want to go to Auntie May's Pretzels or whatever it's called, a cinnamon bun thing. And they saying, oh my God, it's way over there. And I'm right here. They say, you are here. And cinnamon buns is in D4. You have to know that where you actually are is where you actually need to be. That's the here, right here. Now, your partner, like they say, who is going to be your greatest lover? Your greatest lover is you first, period. As the kids say, period, that's it. So then, while you're there, you need to act like you are the greatest lover of all to yourself. Especially with the times that we're coming up here and we have Valentine's Day, and especially I heard even because this morning I usually listen to Headspace on Spotify, and the young man was saying, well, those of you all that are in relationships that are lucky to have someone, and it went, I'm like, okay, that don't, and I was sending the thing to him, and I was like, you need to reword that. That didn't come out right. And then later on, he said, well, maybe those of you that don't have anyway and you're single, you still can be. I said, okay. Because see, that goes back to again that 3D what I talk about in the world and how they are now, they are implanting on you, oh, if you don't have nobody, you're not lucky. That's that energy that they sending to you. But again, Source just told you you need to act as if you're lover. So when Sunday comes and you don't have anybody or whatever like that, send roses to yourself. I know it's been cliche and say, oh, okay. But again, you can do that and do it in the way, and I've done that myself, get roses and say, that's from the divine masculine within me. That's to you. You worked hard. I see you. I see you, boo. And when it comes down to it, you are babe. You are beyond anyone else to me. Because I know that right now, when it comes down to it, and I have to say that to myself constantly, I'm all you got. I, the divine feminine, divine masculine within myself, I'm all that I have. So if nobody else is going to show up for me, who is there left? Who's left? Me. So especially when we talk about Valentine's Day, and that's when that energy you feel in other people, especially as being empaths. And I say that's why I say we have to have this talk, especially as being empath, and especially during this COVID moments where we have people not being able to. I'm seeing them saying on Facebook, "Well, I can't go out to the restaurants like that. We're gonna have to celebrate inside. You know what can I do?" Some of those people have loved ones have passed and went on, and during this time, just like it's saying about Karen Lewis, the Chicago Teachers Union leader that passed on, those things are resonating in the air. And some of those things you got to ask yourself for divine truth. Is this my feeling of this sorrow or this loneliness or this heaviness that I'm feeling right now? Or is this truly someone else's, or am I picking up for the collective? And you know, as the empath, as I watched that movie that was about the witches. What was it? Oh Lord, it was a good one on Netflix. And the young lady, I told you she was a fairy and she was becoming into her fairiness, and she's one of the powerfulest fairies that was out there, and her moving into that energy of understanding that, you know, as us becoming, we have to understand that we have to respect the process. And in respecting the process of where we are, we've got to understand that we've got to love the good, the bad, and the ugly. The thought left, but anyway, they told me to go into that. I'm like, okay. So I got to listen and be obedient. This is where we are at. This is where we, in the space in our head, that we've got to deal with in loving ourselves, and even with things that are going on outside of ourselves. And as empaths, and they brought it back. They said, I'll bring it back to you. As empaths, understanding there was a young lady that was empathic and she didn't want to take in any of the hurt and the pain from other people. And it was like, listen here, you empath, you're very powerful as a fairy. And your job is, you know how to take in that hurt and that pain and to transmute it, to make it higher, She had a friend that was one of the other guys they was in there that was dying, and that was her little boyfriend. And she was like, I don't want to take it. You gonna take that day. I can't hold his hand. I can't take in the pain for him. I can't take in the pain because her mother had just passed. She said, I already know how it feels to do that. And then when they seen at the end that he was almost on his way to near death, she stepped up to the plate. They told her, that's your job. You need to stop being as an empath, and that's us, throwing out all that information and all that energy back out there, and do your job and to take in. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody and you're not comfortable, but I'm just letting you know that sometimes that's why it's hidden, because that is your job. And I know that with myself, I can't deal with it. But Source said again, and they were saying that's a powerful thing, because when she was thinking about herself compared to the other fairies, she's like, everybody, they can blow up things, they can create fire, they can move water, they can move energies, and all I got is the power of being an empath. How powerful is that amongst all these other daggone fairies that's up in there? And he's like, you got the most powerful of all, because you are able to change and move the energies in the mind. That's very powerful. You're moving energies that way of air, he was telling her. That's very powerful. So again, those of us that are feeling that, to be able to, that's why they talk about adventure and play, to be able to take that energies and to transmute it, because you will say that. I know David tells me that all the time. I'm clearing for the collective. It's not a good thing. It's not a happy thing, but we pretty much have signed on for that. But again, when those energies do come, notice, see, ask, is this mine? Is this not? Is this collected? Ask for the angels and your guides and whoever you're 18 to take that energy and to move it through you, to process it and make it easy and as fast as possible. That's the same thing like what Jesus has said. And he has stated in the Garden of Gethsemane, if it's all possible for this cup to pass this on. If not, then okay, I got to do it. That was as an empath. That's one of his things that he had did, to take on the pain of the world. That's empath. But again, we have the thing that you can say, yes, free will. You can exercise that, say, no, I don't want that. Let that go on and somebody else deal with that as well. But I'm just telling you, it's right now is our whole role, because I think some of us don't understand our power and who we are and what we're made up of. This is where we are. This is part of our makeup, and some of us might be rejecting that. And I'm telling you, this is part of who you are too as well. And that's why these energies are coming towards you. And that's another aspect of you, of your fairy power, if you want to put it that way, or your twin flame power that comes as this being a light worker, that you have to also deal with. That as the total package of the power that you possess, the hand and the wand. Focus on the magic, if nothing else. Focus on the possibility. Focus on the opportunities the spirit is allowing you to be able in this moment, in this now, to create. That's the main thing, if anything, that they want you to walk away with these energies. It's not the woe was me. It's not the talking about what they doing, what he doing, what she doing. The source is saying, what are you doing in this moment? And this is where we are. Focus on the magic and the potential. Because right now, in this year for divine feminine energies, you are in the position, and the universe is supporting you to step into your power, to step into that newness, to step into that opportunity. All it's asking you to do is like that drive through. Get in your car, drive around, and accept it. And say, okay, I'm doing the action. I ain't paying attention. I'm creating that website. I'm moving my things. I'm getting my customers together. I'm telling people about what I do. This is it. And then I'm waiting, and I'm paying attention and focusing on the magic in the now. Because that position there to me is in that. And if you might need to incorporate that in your position, maybe sit there for a while and say this. I'm looking. I got my action, and I'm looking, and I'm sitting there for that to happen. Again, to physically get yourself into that mind state as well. Okay, then. I wouldn't know. Fairies come in according to that movie. All fairies come in all different. They have all different special. I'm gonna see if I can find what the heck the name of that daggone movie I was looking at. That was an empath. They had fairies that was in the movie Sherry that was fire. She had one that was she was able to change energies, and there was another one that was able to do water. She was able to move the water and create water and make water make shapes and things of all that nature. It's just the same thing. Now, there are empaths and all that stuff. Okay, as a fairy. Oh, okay, all right then. Interesting. I have to kind of look into that a little bit more about that. Okay. I, no, I didn't say empaths was fairies. I was talking about in the movie. And I was just saying, create your fairiness as an empath on that part. But now they were saying that on that part. Okay. As well. Yes, they can be that as well. But no, that wasn't my thing on that one. Talking about that. If I did say that, maybe they channeled through me. Who knows? I'm not even gonna take that back by what I said. I'm coming back down to myself because all that was channeled. It was telling me. Okay. All right then. So it's always remember, especially when we having this again, this being Valentine's Day, if you want to get some information about what's going on with your divine masculine energies as well, make sure you go to divineunisouls11.co and take advantage of the $14 special that I have for you to read into your divine masculine energies or your divine feminine energies, love letters too as well. It could be a love letter from yourself as well. I've had that. I've had people outside, past loved ones, whatever. If you want to feel love at that moment, make sure that you go over there for that. Also, I've had some people come and do their transformational readings too as well. I got one, and I didn't even know I had it on that transformational special for $14. If you just want to like a sneak peek to see about what you need to transform at this moment, I have that. It's called a sneak peek on my. You got to book that. The Divine Soul Letters is on my site, but the other one for transformational sneak peek, you got to actually book for that reading as well. So you have to make sure you go through the book on you go on my website, and it's right there for the sneak peek as well. Is there anything else? Oh, this Friday, make sure that you come and you hang out with us on the playground experience because Stephanie is going to be on here talking about family and family and marriage, especially during COVID. She's seeing some things that's going on, and she wants us, especially those that's got to work with those dynamics as we're still being divine or fairies as well, that we have to learn how to be able to survive and move and have our being and still be divine in the process. There, so you don't want to miss that. Make sure you go to be there this Friday at 7:30 Central for the playground experience as we talk about that as being a twin flame, being divine, and dealing with family and marriage at the same time. So make sure family and marriage or family and or marriage as well. So make sure you do that. And as always, make sure that you click like, share, and subscribe to this channel because again, when you hit the like, all that's just saying is thank you for giving your time and your efforts and your energy and your talent and sharing it with us. And I'm just saying, yes, thumbs up for that. Just saying thank you for allowing that time for you to do that and share that information with me. So make sure that you do that. Also, make sure you smash the notification bell because that's also a way in which you will know when I go live because when spirits say talk now, I get on. So again, make sure that you do that as well. Is there anything else? Oh, and share if there's some good stuff and you know some other people that's on twin flame journey and they need to hear this, but they're kind of down in their spirit or a little challenged at this point. Make sure that you share this too as well, this information too. Okay, all right then. And as always, okay, as always, okay. I'm still stuck on somebody. Thank you. I'm like, can you get off of this? Thank you. And as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascending. Namaste, namago. Mwah. Love you. Thank you for hanging out in the Sunshine Lounge. Thank you, Mimi, for being that marvelous moderator as well. Thank you, ma'am. She's put down there about my specials. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Who else was in here? Sherry. I see Mimi, Sherry. I see. Okay, they just taking over here. Sabrina. Hey, Sabrina. How you doing? Okay, and then thank you, Kathy D, for coming in, and Kia's creation as well. All right, there. And if you came in late, go and watch the playback and listen to that channel message that Source had for you. All right, then. As always, mwah, love you. Until next time, I will be talking to you real. Is this going up to the top? There we go. I'll be talking to you real soon.